Tonight, a Canada Day disturbance.
When we were seeing more fireworks going off in the middle of the intersection here than previous years.
Teenagers facing charges and police shutting down a major downtown Kitchener park.
At one point, police did arrest one 17-year-old male for possession of a weapon, and there were numerous Trespass to Property Act charges laid.
As Waterloo Regional Police investigate multiple firework-related calls. Plus, unlocking opportunities in the digital economy.
Data centers will be prioritized that deliver real, meaningful benefits to both the local communities and to the province's long-term competitiveness.
Why the Minister of Energy was in Kitchener today.
I think we have a unique opportunity to carve an identity for the Waterloo region with respect to the application of AI.
And a first for the city of Stratford.
It doesn't have to be perfect, as I said. We need a ground to play, and we're here.
Athletes took to the pitch as Canada's fastest growing game continues to expand. Good evening. There was some commotion in downtown Kitchener this Canada Day. Waterloo Regional Police responding to several calls in and around Victoria Park, including multiple firework-related incidents. That's where we find CTV's Alexandra Hollick tonight. Alexandra, it's much calmer scene there tonight.
That's right, Ashley, and what a difference just 24 hours can make. Very little, if any, evidence in Victoria Park today of what happened last night. Of course, police dealing with those big crowds and even bigger fireworks. But those celebrations did actually spill onto neighboring streets. Chaos explodes on Schneider Avenue in Kitchener. A group of teenagers running from fireworks set off steps away from Victoria Park.
We were just sitting at home last night and we noticed that the fireworks sounded a lot closer and we were hearing some screaming and yelling.
Calvin Mills has lived in the area for 6 years. He says the firework frenzy has only gotten worse.
The fireworks that they were using were just huge, like the big ball ones that then shimmer at the end, and we're seeing kids running around, they're like touching their face like as they're getting burned.
Mills believes there were around 200 kids on the street last night. He says many of them came from the park trying to avoid police.
Kids who are bringing fireworks and being reckless and dangerous with it are also coming here because they're like, oh, we're going to go run from the cops and it's going to be like cat and mouse, like a game.
Police say they received multiple disturbance and firework-related calls to Victoria Park between 4:30 yesterday afternoon and 1 o'clock this morning.
Police did arrest one 17-year-old male for possession of a weapon, and there were numerous Trespass to Property Act charges laid.
Police also seizing bags full of fireworks from park goers and arresting two 17-year-old boys in connection to an attempted fireworks robbery from a Kitchener plaza over the weekend.
One individual was arrested shortly after during the investigation, so we were able to take a 17-year-old into custody. We were actually able to locate a second individual who was involved in the robbery, so that individual has been charged and arrested.
Today, Kitchener Mayor Barry Verbanovic issuing a statement following the unsanctioned festivities, saying in part, while frustrating and disturbing, the simultaneous negative actions of a few in the area will not deter us from bringing people together. Starting next year, fireworks sales will be banned in Kitchener, but Mills says he doesn't think that'll stop sparks from flying.
Online sales are still permitted, and these are teenagers. They're not walking into a store to buy fireworks.
And regional police are still investigating a number of incidents from yesterday and are urging anyone with information or video footage to come forward. Ashley?
CTV's Alexandra Hollick reporting live for us tonight from Victoria Park. Thank you, Alexandra. Well, there was a serious Canada Day crash just outside of Arras, which has left 5 people in hospital, including a 16-year-old who suffered life-altering injuries. It happened just after 11 p.m. on Wellington Road 86. A head-on collision between an SUV and sedan shut down the road between 8th Line East and Side Road 16. Wellington County OPP say the investigation is still underway.
5 individuals were transported to hospital, including a 16-year-old passenger who sustained life-altering injuries. All drivers and passengers involved suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Vehicle number 1 of the SUV is a 47-year-old from Woolwich Township. Vehicle number 2, which is a sedan, had 3 children and 1 adult. The adult is from Palmerston, alongside all 3 children. The ages of the people inside the sedan is a 37-year-old, and the 3 children range from ages 16, 15 to a 6-year-old.
No word yet on what caused the crash. Roads have since reopened in the area. Police are asking anyone who saw the collision or who has dash cam footage to contact them. Okay, well, it's our first checked on for weather, and Alexandra Pinto joined us now outside of our studios. Alex, of course, it is a super warm one again today.
Yeah, it sure is. Definitely feeling like summer as we really welcome the nice warm weather, seeing some beautiful sunshine. The birds are chirping here outside of our studio. Really can't complain, but it is feeling a little bit warmer with that humidity. So as we get into the evening, into the overnight hours, that's when we could see a chance for a little bit of wet weather, just a 30% chance at this point. There is a risk, though, of that thunderstorm still sticking around, but again, quite light at this point. So right now we're sitting at 28 degrees here in Kitchener-Waterloo. By the water, 27 in Goderich, 23 in Wyerton. But again, it's with that humidity, you know, not feeling like we did in that heat wave we saw, but 31 degrees it's feeling like here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 33 in Goderich, 28 in Wyerton, feeling more like 31 in Mount Forest. So definitely a little bit warmer, but at this point I have to say, even with the breeze that we're seeing too, so a little bit stronger winds, making it a little bit more comfortable out there. So we're going to take a look at your full forecast coming up a little bit later, including when we could see some more wet weather roll in. Ashley.
All right, Alex, looking forward to hearing about more of that wet weather a little later in the show. Thank you. Multiple fire departments in Lambton County were called out to a large out-of-control barn fire east of Sarnia last night. Flames and smoke visible for miles. CTV's Sean Irvin has more on the emergency response crews working into the early hours of the morning.
Hours after it was extinguished, smoke billows from a Lambton County barn. A fire broke out here shortly after 8:30 p.m. Property owners John and Marion Lennon rushed to the scene on Petrolia Line from their main residence a short distance away. They arrived in time to witness the fast-moving blaze.
And it was just engulfed in flames. It was just everything. There was nothing to be seen, just flames.
Led by Petrolia firefighters, 4 departments responded to the blaze. They were on scene until 4 a.m. The area fire chief reports 1 member was taken to the hospital suffering from heat exhaustion. No one else was injured, including the nearby tenants of a home on the property. Firefighters also managed to keep flames away from operating grain silos located just meters from the burning barn.
That was miraculous, for sure. It was miraculous that they were able to, yes.
We farmed here. We had a number of cattle here for a number of years. We did a lot of operations out of this barn, and it's about a lot of history for my husband. That was his whole life. And just to kind of see it go this way was kind of sad.
And John, do you have any idea how old it was?
Oh, I imagine it's 125 years old at least.
The barn was built by John's great-grandfather. It was out of the family for decades until he bought it back in 1983. Now reduced to rubble, a chapter will end. Thankfully, the family is insured.
So we will move on, and hopefully better things will come. It's just a sad day to see it go like this, but, you know, it is what it is.
Damage has been estimated at $500,000. The cause is listed as undetermined. West of Petrolia, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
London police are looking for a man wanted on a number of human trafficking charges. A warrant was issued for 42-year-old Corey Robert Fowler. He is facing a number of charges, including trafficking in a person under age of 18. Police say the Woodstock man met a teen online, and the two started a relationship in the fall of 2023. They say he suggested that she should become a sex worker and started advertising her service on social media. The two became involved in an argument in a London hotel along the 401 corridor. Investigators say the woman told Fowler she is no longer wanted to do sex work, and he assaulted her. She went to police in April, and charges followed. Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines was in Kitchener today announcing new opportunities for digital economy. Moving forward, certain data centers will be prioritized for connecting to Ontario's electricity grid. CTV's Karis Mapp has more on what that means for local tech companies.
This plan, this legislation allows Ontario to control how electricity connection requests are managed.
Minister of Energy and Mines Stephen Lecce announcing new measures to prioritize data centers connecting to Ontario's electricity grid. Speaking at Kitchener's Communitech, Minister Lecce unveiling the provincial government's plan to strengthen Ontario's digital economy.
That means prioritizing data centers that drive real value to the province. Job creation, innovation, economic growth, domestic data security. Large-scale data centers will require government sign-off before being able to connect to the grid, making sure that every connection supports Ontario's bigger picture.
Currently, electricity utilities are required to connect all data centers regardless of economic impact or energy consumption needs.
That's not really responsible planning. That's not about protecting the province, especially at a time when others want to see us fail.
The announcement also pushing for a more sovereign future, especially in Waterloo Region.
The combination of surety and moving forward, as well as protecting Canadian interests, is absolutely great news for a region like Waterloo, who was number 4 on the list of areas or regions that would be impacted by the tariffs.
It's about the choices we're going to make as Canadians that are going to shape how we secure and become more self-reliant for decades to come.
With the tech sector booming, local experts also hopeful for the future.
I think the Waterloo region has lots of reasons to be optimistic about the next era of tech success. Largely, it will be built on artificial intelligence. Government's taking it seriously to protect our digital infrastructure, which is going to be critical to powering that next era of AI. Today's announcement is all about securing the underlying infrastructure that powers that AI.
Kara Smapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
The countdown is on to reach a trade deal with the U.S. by July 21st. Today, Prime Minister Carney sat down with top industry executives with a focus on Canada's auto sector. CTV's Mike LeCouture explains.
Inside the Prime Minister's office, Mark Carney huddled for an hour with the Canadian CEOs of GM, Ford, Stellantis, and the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association. When it was done, François-Philippe Champagne said little about the discussion.
We had a very good meeting talking about the industry, and we've been very, very clear. We're always going to be there to support the workers and the industry.
He refused to say whether or not the federal government will keep the electric vehicle mandate. By next year, 20% of new passenger vehicles sold in Canada must be either battery-powered or hybrid. It was something car makers clearly wanted to discuss ahead of the meeting.
The EV mandate itself is not sustainable. The targets that have been established cannot be met, and that will be part of the discussion.
Those in the industry say EVs currently account for 9% of total sales. And if they fall short, Flavio Volpe says it's the car companies that pay.
And to sell regular combustion units, they've got to buy a credit from some company that's earned it, or spend $20,000 per unit on charging infrastructure.
On top of that, those same car companies continue to deal with 25% tariffs from the U.S. Now, there is a carve-out for components that are built in America through the integrated supply chain. Still, Canadian auto exports in the U.S. fell by 23% in April.
They make 6 or 7% a year in profit. If there is a tariff in for 5, 10, 25%, it makes those operations untenable.
According to a readout from the Prime Minister's office, the meeting also looked at ways to make Canada's auto sector more sustainable and competitive in the face of shifting trading relationships, something that could be more urgent if Canada isn't able to strike a trade deal with the U.S. in the next 19 days. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A reminder to start your day in the know with your CTV News Kitchener newsletter. Get the best local content from CTV News straight to your inbox. We've got today's top stories, the latest weather forecast with Alex, and some must-see videos. It's all in one place. Sign up right now at ctvnewskitchener.ca. A change in plans for a controversial development. The land is back for sale as the developer of 4611 King Street East is no longer pursuing a 2-tower project near Highway 401.
All right, some beautiful conditions here in Kitchener-Waterloo. Nice sunny sky, warm temperatures, but some areas are under a severe thunderstorm watch. I'll break it down in your full forecast.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Tomorrow marks the 37th anniversary for a local cold case. Bruce County native Lois Hanna was last seen alive in July 1988. The 25-year-old went missing after a homecoming dance in Lucknow. Police believe she was murdered, but her body has never been found, despite numerous searches. A $50,000 reward is available for anyone with information leading to the discovery of her body. The developer behind a controversial two-tower condo project in Kitchener has withdrawn its Ontario Land Tribunal appeal. It signals another win for residents who were in opposition of it and city councillors who shot down the developer's final pitch earlier this year. CTV's Spencer Turcott reports.
An open lot with a lot of potential is once again up for sale. The land was slated to be the home of a two-tower condo development in Kitchener. 4611 King Street East quickly became the subject of some controversy.
The big one was the wells from the residents that live on Limerick. In the past, when they've had issues, with their wells going dry, and I can't remember the exact numbers of parking, but it wasn't nearly enough. You would have had to turn right out of King Street, go all the way down to Shant's Hill, pull a U-turn and come back up to get into the city.
Ward 3 Kitchener councillor Jason Deneau was among the councillors who heard from Burlington-based LJM Developments pleading their case for the mixed-use project. In the final proposal to council, the height of the mixed-use towers were reduced by several stories and the number of condo units were whittled down from more than 700 units to 545. Still, it wasn't enough.
We're trying to focus a lot of our increase in density on the other side, where Sports World is, where Costco is, where the old cinema was.
LJM Developments filed an appeal with the Ontario Land Tribunal following the decision. But fast forward a few months, and the OLT confirmed to CTV News on Wednesday that a request was made by the developer to withdraw the appeal.
I'm not anti-development, and I can tell you, the rest of the council and our staff and our mayor are not anti-development. What I am is anti-development in places where it just doesn't make any sense.
CTV News reached out to the developer to find out when and why the appeal was withdrawn and whether neighborhood pushback had anything to do with it. We did not hear back in time for air. But with the land up for sale again and perhaps another application to build there on the horizon,
the problems aren't going to go away.
Councillor Deneau hopes any new developer will learn from past mistakes. Spencer Turcott, CTV News, Kitchener.
It's the fastest growing sport in Canada, and now cricket is growing roots in Stratford. This week, two local teams played the very first match on the city's only dedicated pitch. And as we hear from CTV's Jeff Pickle, it took a group of actors and local cricket diehards to make it happen.
Tails! It is a tail!
It is a tails.
The first coin toss, the first bowl, and the first shot. The first of many cricket contests to be held on Stratford's new cricket pitch.
I look forward to leagues growing here and people being able to play for quite some time.
Emilio Vieira is the captain of the Stratford Festival team.
Not only actors at the Stratford Festival, but members of the crew, members of staff, everyone from ushers to people who work in the shop to people who work on and off the stages are permitted to play.
This squad, the latest in an over 70-year tradition of festival cricket.
The sort of group of Brits who came over to start that festival were huge cricket fans and cricket players, and so they developed an actors team which then played with the other teams in town.
They're playing with a local cricket team who have been without a proper pitch for close to a decade.
So we all are the local community playing in Stratford for last 8 years, trying to find our ground. We were using the diamond ring or playing anywhere in the park, wherever we get a spot to play.
The Stratford Game Changers say it's their love of sport that kept them playing despite the conditions.
We didn't have every, single accommodation from anyone in the town, but at the same time, we were putting each and everyone together so that we can, keep our spirit on all the time.
Together, the Game Changers and the festival team pushed the city to give them space.
From a cricket perspective, the field location is not exactly ideal. There's a bit of a slope to the field. There's some cars they have to avoid, but after waiting so long just to get a grounds, they say this location is absolutely perfect.
We need a ground to play, and we are here. We are feeling so happy. Everyone is super excited, and we are thankful to City of Stratford and the team here who help us throughout the way.
The festival team and the Game Changers hopeful to spark a cricket craze in Stratford.
It's reflecting a kind of global connection to the sport. I'm really excited that future generations will be able to play and learn about the sport.
The culmination of the festival's team season comes with a 50-year-old annual grudge match against the Shaw Festival from Niagara-on-the-Lake. That game will take place Monday, August 25th in Stratford. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Stratford.
Poor air quality associated with Canadian wildfires is having an effect not just on our breathing, but also our hearts. CTV's Pauline Chan has a look at the latest findings.
Researchers from the University Health Network were looking at particles known as PM 2.5, particulate matter that is 2.5 micrometers or less in the air.
They actually can cross over into the bloodstream. And of course, the bloodstream then, goes to the heart.
The researchers used MRIs to study how long-term air pollution from wildfires as well as other sources like cars and industry affect the heart.
The link or the association between long-term air pollution exposure and scarring in the heart. Scarring, just like you might get if you cut your arm. If you have an injury to part of your body, like the heart muscle, it can heal with scarring. And that can lead to downstream problems, including heart failure.
The postal codes of the 694 participants were used to determine their level of PM 2.5 exposures.
This shows that if you are exposed to more air pollution, even at the relatively low levels that we experience within Ontario currently, you are at higher risk of having a little bit more fibrosis in the heart.
Dr. Kate Hanneman says the effects are subtle.
What we found was women, those who had a history of smoking, and those who had hypertension had the highest risk.
People in the high-risk groups and those with existing heart problems should pay closer attention to air quality levels and avoid staying outside when the pollution is high. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Okay, taking a live look outside downtown Kitchener this evening. Clear skies indeed. It is still a hot one out there, very warm, but conditions might change over the next couple days. There's a chance for showers. Alex will have more details about what we can expect weather-wise coming up after this break. Still ahead on CTV News, Sean Diddy Combs has been found guilty of some of his charges, but acquitted of others. Those details coming up. Plus, there's new legislation aimed at making sure gig workers make at least minimum wage. Allison Hurst will tell you all about that as well. Welcome back. Alex is back with your full weather forecast. Now, of course, Alex, we've had sort of a active weather few days over the long weekend, and today was very warm, and there's some areas with a chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. So, yes, if you did maybe take a day off and got that extended long weekend, for many, I know Colton was joking, it feels like Monday today for some of us.
For some, but not all.
Not all, not all, especially those here. So, yeah, it was, we saw some rain, we saw a bit of sun. Today, beautiful conditions out there, especially if you like that sunshine. A little bit windy, but yeah, some areas seeing a little bit more active weather and under a bit of a watch. We'll get into that in just a moment, but right now outside of our studio, or this is in Kitchener rather, it is nice and sunny, just a few clouds, but we're not really seeing any here directly. It's, yeah, quite comfortable. If you like sunny summer days, today is your day to get outside, maybe get on the patio, have some dinner, have a drink, and just enjoy the evening, especially with that sun setting. after 9 o'clock, which is so nice to see. So not for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo, but if you do have plans to head west down the 401, London, Port Stanley, Chatham, Kent, Windsor, severe thunderstorm watch that is currently in place was in place from this afternoon, expected to last right through to the evening. Wind gusts could be seen up to 90 kilometers an hour. Hail is possible too, 3 centimeters or so, and isolated thunderstorms are expected. So with, of course, the high winds, utility outages could be possible as well. So something to keep in mind, again, if you are heading to any of those areas. But for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo, mainly clear conditions. We are seeing a little bit of cloud cover in some areas, but again, just seeing a little bit more active weather, more to the west and the south. Barrie, a really Mount Forest as well. So further to the north, seeing a little bit of more active weather there. Some heavier showers from the evening hours into overnight and into your Wednesday. So here, Kitchener-Waterloo, around 11 o'clock or so, Wednesdays when we could see a bit of rain headed our way. So you may want to grab the umbrella, those rain boots, just in case. And then again, as we get into the overnight Thursday, but Friday looking like a pretty nice day as those clouds move out of the way on Thursday. Yeah, so Friday, we're actually supposed to see some pretty sunny conditions, which is nice, and fairly warm as we get into the weekend. But looking at the weekend, we could see a little bit more active weather. I feel like it's a bit of a yo-yo effect at this point. We're currently sitting at 28 degrees here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 25 in Goderich, 26 in Mount Forest. But the humidity, you can definitely feel that out there today, feeling closer to 32 out there. 30, it feels more like in Goderich, and 34, it's feeling like in Sarnia. So our high was 28 degrees. We did hit that around 2 o'clock or so this afternoon. So we are above normal for this time, so by a couple of degrees. The record, though, 35.6, that was set in 1921. And our record low, 4.2, that was in 2007. So we're seeing that sunrise also at 5:45 in the morning, and that sun setting around 9:07 p.m., which is nice to see. So overnight, slight chance of showers, 30% with that risk of a thunderstorm, as well as we dip down to 15 degrees. And then for tomorrow, expected to hit 28 degrees again with that risk of a thunderstorm sticking with us as well. So getting into the next 7 days, again, Friday looking like a pretty good day. Sunny conditions with an expected high of 27 degrees before we could see a chance for a little bit of precipitation roll in. 31 expected high for your Saturday with a slight chance of showers. Sunday, though, a little bit more in terms of that chance, 60%. Lambton, Kent, and Essex, Friday looking like one of your best days as well. But you also have a pretty nice Saturday in store. Sunny conditions and a high of 32 expected. And then Southern Georgian Bay, again, looking pretty good on Friday. High of 25 degrees before we could see a little bit more wet weather roll in. And here's tonight's Weather Watcher picture. I do want to highlight a couple of great shots we received after that storm Friday evening. So Rob and Julia Fish sending us this from Listowel. Beautiful double rainbow, as you just saw, and a beautiful, nice sunset here. Colorful sky, some stunning shots. Thank you for being tonight's Weather Watcher. And I really feel like that, too, around 7:30 or so. Felt like it came a little bit out of nowhere for some people. It was some wicked weather.
It was very fast, and it was very windy. And the downpour at my home, anyway, was just intense. There's a small tree outside of one of my windows that was nearly fully bent over, but managed to survive.
Yeah, and I guess some of the aftermath, at least we got some beautiful shots.
Beautiful aftermath shots, exactly. Well, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
A bombshell verdict after 13 hours of deliberation in the high-profile case against rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The music industry icon was acquitted of the more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, but convicted of prostitution-related offenses. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on the downfall of the American rapper and what happens next.
Waving and smiling, the Combs family exited this New York City federal court. As protesters came face to face with supporters of Sean Diddy Combs, emotions running at a fever pitch, just moments after the jury delivered their split verdict. Delivered on the third day of deliberations, the jury of 8 men and 4 women declared the 55-year-old Combs not guilty of 1 count of racketeering, conspiracy, and 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, but guilty of the lesser charges of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs, who's already been incarcerated for 10 months, could still face considerable prison time. At sentencing, each of the prostitution transportation charges carry as much as 10 years behind bars. While Combs' lawyer declined to comment,
we'll be saying something soon.
Multiple criminal law experts are declaring today a victory for the former hip-hop mogul.
It's absolutely a win. The defense took a really big gamble going to trial on this case.
The prosecution called 34 witnesses to the stand, multiple ex-girlfriends, including singer Cassie Ventura, who claimed that Combs forced her to engage in sexual encounters called, quote, freak-offs and hotel nights. Jurors watched this 2016 hotel video of Combs dragging and kicking her. Ventura's lawyer stopped short of calling today a victory for his client.
We're pleased that he's finally been held responsible for 2 federal crimes, something that he's never faced in his life. He still faces substantial jail time. Of course, we would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we understand beyond a reasonable doubt is a high standard.
With this decision, Combs avoids a possible life sentence. Moments after the verdict was read out, his family began to cheer in the courtroom as the one-time music star appeared to fall to his knees in prayer. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Washington.
A guilty plea today from Brian Kohlberger, the man accused in the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. Kohlberger changing his plea today after negotiating a deal with prosecutors. Family members of the victims were in the court to watch, but not all agreed with the plea deal. Alex Stone reports.
Nearly 3 years after the shocking murders of University of Idaho students Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, today their killer, Brian Kohlberger, walked into the Ada County Courthouse in Boise and admitted to the crime.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Yes.
The 30-year-old pleading guilty to 4 counts of murder and 1 count of burglary for entering the home on King Road in Moscow in November of 2022. In an emotional moment in court, the judge going through each count, naming each victim, asking Kohlberger if he did it.
Did you kill and murder Madison Mogan, a human being? Yes.
In exchange for his guilty plea, Kohlberger is expected to be given 4 consecutive life terms and 10 years for burglary. He will avoid the death penalty. The guilty plea, an abrupt change. For years, Kohlberger has claimed his innocence. His defense team fighting the credibility of DNA left on a knife sheath found at the murder scene and cell phone data implicating him in the crime. Family members and friends of the murder victims making sure they were in court today to hear the change of plea. The family of Kaylee Gonsalves is angry, arguing they were not adequately consulted before prosecutors decided to settle, allowing Kohlberger to avoid the death penalty.
You don't think 4 life sentences is justice?
No, of course not. It's daycare. Prison is daycare, people.
While some family members wanted the judge to reject the plea deal, it is going forward. They also want Kohlberger to be forced to explain why he committed the murders and the location of the murder weapon. He explained neither in court today. In admitting his guilt, Kohlberger cannot appeal. Next up will be Brian Kohlberger's sentencing hearing on July 23rd. That's when the judge will officially give him his sentence, and then he'll be sent to prison for the rest of his life. Alex Stone, ABC News, Boise, Idaho.
A plot right out of Hollywood. Still to come on CTV News, a sneaky serpent causing major or minor chaos. Sobeys parent company Empire Co. Limited has become the first retailer to sign on to Canada's new Grocery Code of Conduct. The code is intended to promote fair dealings between grocers and their suppliers. That includes penalties and fees in an effort to bring more transparency, fairness, and predictability to the industry. The plan is having full implementation by January 1st. All of Canada's major grocers have confirmed support for the voluntary code, but this week marks the opening for formal registrations. Dairy products like Lactose Canada has also signed on as the first supplier member of the code. Canned food giant Del Monte has filed for bankruptcy and is looking for a buyer. The 138-year-old company announcing it will voluntarily enter Chapter 11 and is going through a sales process for all of its assets. The company blames declining consumer demand that led to increased costs for surplus inventory. Taxpayers who already paid the digital service tax will have to wait for new legislation to be passed before they can get a refund. The first payment was due Monday and could have cost American companies like Amazon and Uber billions of dollars. But Prime Minister Carney said on Sunday the tax on global tech giants is being dropped in a bid to restart trade negotiations with the U.S. The CRA collected some revenue from the tax before Ottawa's reversal, so MPs will have to approve legislation formally revoking the tax when Parliament returns from summer break in order for taxpayers to get their money back. Okay, it's time now to recap our top stories, and today Krista Simpson is in studio with us. Good afternoon, Krista. We start with some of the chaos at Victoria Park during Canada Day celebration.
Ashley, another holiday, another problem. Once again, police had to break up huge crowds of young people who were setting off fireworks in the area. Regional police say hundreds of people were in Victoria Park at the time. It was closed at 10 in the evening to keep everyone safe and to disperse the crowds. Fireworks were seized from many young people. Trespass to Property Act charges were laid, and a 17-year-old was arrested for weapons possession. A controversial proposal to build 2 condo towers in South End Kitchener appears to not be moving forward. A Burlington company had submitted a plan that would create 545 condo units at 4611 King Street East. That's right near Highway 401. Council rejected the application, noting many concerns raised in the community. And while the developer had initially taken its case to the Ontario Land Tribunal, it has now withdrawn that appeal.
And online, our digital news team has a story about the Brantford Bulldogs drafting a defenseman known as the largest hockey player in the world.
Well, Ashley, Alexander Karmenov is from Moldova. He is 7 feet tall, 273 pounds, and he's coming to the Brantford Bulldogs. The team selecting him in the Canadian Hockey League import draft today. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Ashley.
Well, I know a team down the road on the 401 that could use an enforcer like that, so good on them. Okay, thank you, Krista. New legislation aimed at making sure that gig workers make at least minimum wage has kicked in. But as CTV's Allison Hurst reports, rideshare drivers say it doesn't come close to providing a minimum wage.
Rafael Rowe has been an Uber driver for 9 years and says the gig has gotten harder.
We are at the bottom. We are barely making it as time goes by.
With so many drivers, he says there are long waits between rides.
25, 40 minutes, it varies from time to time.
Those wait times are not covered under the province's new legislation. The Digital Platform Workers' Rights Act requires companies pay workers minimum wage, $17.20 an hour, but only when they're engaged for a ride or delivery.
The gig kind of companies largely got what they wanted out of this legislation.
This legislation also allows workers to file complaints with the ministry and includes fines. For corporations, $15,000 for first offense and up to $50,000 for a third or subsequent offense within 3 years. For individuals, it's $250 for the first offense and up to $1,000 for repeated violations.
The government has always been in a position to proactively deal with gig companies, and they haven't done so.
The Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development states it's the first legislation of its kind to establish new enforceable rights and core protections. But advocates say it's missed the mark, having also not dealt with algorithmic pricing and pay.
Uber has introduced something called upfront fares, upfront pricing, and these fares are determined by Uber's algorithms. And what that does is it basically creates a black box, and no one has any idea of how these fares and how wages and pay are being determined.
For Rowe, the legislation should have gone further.
Most of us who is doing this type of work here are the guys that are left behind. We can't get another job. Nobody's going to hire minorities. When you look and see people who are really doing the gig workers, are just minority people.
It took effect on July 1st. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
From social media to a close-to-home donor. Still to come on CTV News, an Ottawa-based firefighter is recovering after receiving a life-saving donation.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 105.3 Virgin Radio.
An Ottawa firefighter is now recovering after receiving a life-saving liver transplant. Matt Goby went public with his plea in January, and it turns out his donor was closer than he thought. CTV's Katie Griffin has the story.
Good girl.
For Matt Goby, this is a fresh start.
I feel 10 years younger than I did before the surgery. My energy's better, my mood is better. I'm not getting migraines anymore.
After battling end-stage liver disease, the Ottawa firefighter received a transplant from a living donor back in May.
I'm back to driving. I'm back to, showering unassisted. Little things that I used to take for granted that I haven't been able to do. Still can't carry a heavy bag of groceries, but I'll get there.
Just from our past work, we're usually the ones giving the help, and now to get the help, it's just been very healing, very incredible, very emotional.
The Gobys turned to social media and spoke with CTV News in January, trying to reach as many potential donors as possible. With time running out to find a match, Goby went public. It turns out his donor was closer than he thought.
I just feel as firefighters, we have this dedication to each other and leaving no one behind.
Jenna McMillan is also a firefighter who has known Goby for years. She didn't hesitate to help when she learned she was a match and felt they were in good hands with the transplant team in Toronto.
I'm feeling energized and everything's healed up really well, and I'm feeling really, really great. When I got to see Matt, feeling better and up and walking around, it made any discomfort I was going through totally worth it, and that's what it was all about, and I would highly recommend it.
Goby says thank you will never be enough.
The risk, the cost, the discomfort, everything she had to endure to give me my life back, give my wife her husband back, give my kids their dad back. I don't know if there are words for it.
It's so incredible to have had the opportunity to be a part of that journey with Michelle and Matt. And so I'm just really, really excited for them. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully, him getting back to work. And that'll be, a really exciting day for all of us at Ottawa Fire.
Something Goby can't wait for either.
That's how I'll know I've really got my life back, is when I can get back to doing the job I love.
That's CTV's Katie Griffin reporting. All right, let's check in with our national news team now for a look at what's coming up later tonight.
Tonight, Prime Minister Mark Carney's emergency summit with Canadian automakers.
A sense with the Prime Minister, what's the art of the possible? What are we looking at?
How to get Canada-U.S. trade talks back on the road. We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News.
Comfortable summer conditions for your evening. We'll take a look at how your morning is looking at Wake Up Weather coming up. Lots of great entertainment for your Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Join us for E-Talk before back-to-back Big Bang Theory. And then at 9, it's Battle of the Generations.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
All right, let's check back in with Krista to see what our team is following later tonight.
Ashley, we'll have a look at the investigation and the cleanup in Lucan after a tornado touched down there Monday afternoon. There are also questions in the community about why a warning went out more than 20 minutes after the funnel cloud was spotted. We'll have what the mayor had to say about that. Also, another Kitchener Ranger signs an entry-level contract with the Ottawa Senators. Jackson Parsons making it official earlier today. We'll have more details at 11:30. Ashley.
Okay, thank you, Krista. And of course, tomorrow is another beautiful summer day. It looks like it's shaping up to be. but a slight risk for some showers.
Slight risk. I like to say slight, and hopefully it stays that way. But yes, beautiful day today overall. There is that risk of a thunderstorm as we get into the overnight hours. 30% chance of showers sticking with us tomorrow. But in the morning, looking pretty nice by 6 a.m. Yeah. Mix of sun and clouds for 6 and 8. We're going to be sitting at around 16 and then 18. And then mainly sunny conditions. So the clouds are expected to actually clear a little bit more by about 10 a.m. When we hit 22 degrees. So not a bad way to kick off your Thursday.
I mean, it's certainly a nice way to end, or I guess it's not end your work week. We're all messed up from the week. It's only Wednesday.
Really throwing us off.
To have a middle of the week situation. Now,
we're almost at Friday.
You know what else loves hot, sunny weather?
Oh boy, I don't know if I want to know.
Well, finally for us tonight, it might sound like a familiar movie, but passengers in Australia were really delayed thanks to a snake on a plane.
So basically, I got a call from Melbourne Airport, or from Virgin, basically saying there was a snake on a plane. Can you get here as soon as possible, because a plane cannot leave the runway until you come and deal with this.
No, thank you. The stowaway serpent was found in the cargo hold before takeoff. There were concerns it could be venomous. Turned out, though, to be harmless. A 2-foot-long green tree snake. The snake catcher was able to wrangle it, and the flight took off about 2 hours. After about 2 hours, rather. So they think it may have actually slithered into a passenger's luggage to get on board. And we were just talking during the commercial, because we knew this one was coming up, that, no thank you, I don't know if I would even stay on that plane.
I mean, as someone who lived in Australia, I can say you don't see them as often as people think you do, but knowing that it potentially traveled in someone's luggage is a bit terrifying.
One is one too many for me, but good for them.
Yeah, and everybody was fine, snake and
yes.
Well, that is our time for tonight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our CTV News app for news anytime. Krista Simpson will be back here tonight at 11:30 for more local news. But for now, we'll see you tomorrow.